Comenzamos el segundo quiz. No, not yet.
Yes.
I asked if we start the second quiz.
Yes. The link is in the. Sorry, my dog is barking real loud. The link is in the chat box. You can start as soon as you want.
Okay.
Great. We have the first person ready. Is it difficult so far? I know the last question will take you maybe will take you a bit more time than the others because you will have to provide an example, but try to do it. Try to do it, and if you can think of any example, we can try to think of examples together.
Miss,
Yes?
in one question it says provide an example of linking U, linking R.
Open for any linking that you would like
Okay.
to Two more people to go. Is there anyone that is really behind? I don't know if this person is still doing the quiz. Is any of you having trouble? Because I guess in the class we are 11 right now. Sorry, 10. Only of 10 only students. Only students. But in the quizzes we are 11. So I don't know if any of you started the quiz and just left it. No? So we will wait for this last person to finish, and then we will start checking, because I don't know if this the last person, the last green line, is still doing the quiz. So as soon as the next person finishes, we will start checking. Great, we're done now. So we will start checking. Oof, okay, great, I love it. So we have different types of answers here. What do we have? We have speak, use speaking. Okay, so it used it's divided all the everything that you wrote and put them into single sentences. Sorry, single words. So it doesn't really make sense. But the answer here was quite simple. Any of you could give me your answer like orally? What did you write here? Why do we use features of connected speech? Anyone? Should I give, or I know you, if you wrote something, I'm sure you know the answer.
To simplify the articulation process.
Exactly. Yes. Great, Sarah. Actually, that is one of the reasons. Also, because when we speak with using features of connected speech, it helps us sounding more fluent, or to speak faster, or to sound more native. So there are lots of benefits. So, when using connected speech, as well as if we understand connected speech, it's easier for us to understand a spoken or written or different types of speech, right? So it makes it easier to understand native speakers. So great, thank you, Sarah. The next one would be, let me see if this is changing. Okay. Stress, rhythm, intonation, and sound changes in connected speech. Sorry, I read it terribly. Stress, rhythm, intonation, and sound changes in connected speech are examples of Yes, so most of you got it right. So it says suprasegmental features. 60%, 64% of you were correct. The answer is actually suprasegmental features. And these suprasegmental features commonly affect more than just one sound. So it was correct. Now I can see where the confusion could be in a stress time languages, but I think we will talk about this later. So when people talk, they often blend words together and make some changes in the sounds. This is okay, so 82% of you selected letter C, which was correct. A normal part of everyone's speech because it is common. So the best answer here would be C. Now everyone makes these changes when they talk. It is normal. It is not sloppy or lazy or uneducated. Um, it is also important to know that these changes take place in different types. In this case of English, in different types of Englishes. So it could happen in Australian, in American English, in British English, and all the others. So yes, it is not a sign of sloppy, lazy speech. It is just something that it is quite normal. The next one, how is a stressed syllable different from an unstressed syllable? So 91% of you selected letter A. So a stressed syllable is usually louder, longer, and higher, and commonly has a clearer vowel that isn't reduced to schwa. The other answers are all typical of unstressed syllables, and so shorter, softer, and lower are commonly unstressed syllables. So I can see where the confusion was, but in this case it was louder, higher, and longer in duration. So most of you did great. Next one. How many? Oh, this was uh, kind of tricky. So how many syllables do these words have? In the first one would be little. Actually, little has 2 syllables. So 50% of you were correct. It is not little. It is little. So I can see the confusion. I think the words that you were asked, are kind of tricky. So let's see how you did with the next one. So dictionary. Dictionary actually has 4 syllables. Dictionary, so 4 syllables. Can be confusing as well. Now, spring. This one, I thought of it and it was kind of confusing, but 90% of you did it correct. So it actually has only 1 syllable. It is just a spring. So great, well done. And the last one. This one was also kind of tricky because I used to think that piano was just piano, but it has 3 syllables, and it is piano. So 3 syllables, kind of tricky, right? But it's fine. You now know that it has 3 syllables. The next one. Which syllable has the greatest stress in these words? 1, refrigerator. This was kind of tricky as well, right? Because we have several different answers. Now, in this case, refrigerator is stressed in the second syllable. So it is refrigerator, refrigerator. So in the second syllable. Next one, the word recognition. So 80% of you got it right. It is recognition. So that was correct. Then we have toothpaste, which is in the first syllable. 80% of you got it correct. Toothpaste. So at the very beginning of the word, we would use the stress. And next we have, this one is tricky. Yeah, I know. Most of you got it correct though. 60% of you got it correct. So it is found in the fourth syllable. So it would be uneconomical, kind of complicated. So uneconomical in the fourth syllable. Okay, uneconomical. Really, really difficult to pronounce. Then we have the type of words that receive the least stress in a sentence are usually, and 80% of you got it correct. So the correct answer is D, because function words or small grammar words like articles, prepositions, conjunctions, pronouns, and helping verbs are usually unstressed. And now we will check later which ones are usually stressed, but we have said this several times now. Usually content words are stressed, words that have more meaning in themselves, like nouns or verbs or adjectives and adverbs. Sorry, they tend to have more stress. So this question will help you to identify as well tonicity in the three T's, identifying which ones are function words and which ones are content words. Next one. So the the one word in a sentence that is most likely to receive sentence stress is, as we just said, is content words are most commonly the words that will be stressed. So in this case, it would be the answer B, the last content word in a sentence, because it usually has the stress, also called focus or prominence. And this can change if the speakers, as I mentioned before, this can change if the speaker wants to emphasize a different word. So we could say, for example, why are you going to school today? It is Sunday, not Monday. So that could be a type of stress in specific words. But then again, I could say, no, I do not want to eat fried worms. I've already told you that. For example, I have it written, so I'm reading that. But it will depend on the speaker, as we have said several times now. Now, this one, I know this one was kind of tricky. In a stress time language, the first option was all the syllables receive about the same amount of stress. The second one was there's really no predictable rhythm pattern. So it says that there is not really a specific way to identify the pattern of the rhythm. And the last one was the time between stress syllables stays fairly constant. So the correct answer in this case was letter C. So in a stress time language, the stressed syllables are spaced out fairly constant, as it says there, or fairly evenly. And the unstressed syllables commonly squeeze in between them. So they just accommodate in between them. And about the first answer, letter A, so it says all the syllables receive about the same amount of stress. That happens in a language where the stress is syllable timed. So in English, it is a stress time, but there are different languages that are, for instance, syllable timed type of stress. So it will depend on the language, but in English, the time between stressed syllables stays fairly constant. Okay, next one. So assimilation. Which type of assimilation is present in the following example? We have up and about. So this was kind of tricky. I used an example that we reviewed in class. This was not a new example. So I'm surprised that it was 50-50. I thought you would get it, but that's fine. So in this example, we can find progressive assimilation. And for the people that wrote progressive assimilation, where can you see the change? Can you tell me? Who wrote progressive assimilation? Any of you? You even have the transcription at the top of the next to the example. Can anyone tell me where or why it is progressive?
I wrote regressive, but I think that it is because of the M sound. The M.
Okay, great.
Perfect.
Great, Margaret. Thank you. Professor Bruno was raising his hand. Professor Bruno, do you have any comment?
Sorry, yeah, I think there might be two phonological processes, not just one. One of them is the assimilation, and the other one would be the elision,
Mm-hmm.
as up, and the word and, the conjunction and, is
Elided, right?
there's yeah, there's an elision of yeah, the vowel sound and the final d, so we get the middle consonant as sound n, and that is the one that is assimilated. So I guess first elision and then the assimilation.
Assimilation. Right.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. All right, I don't know if you agree.
That's great. Yes, thank you. So in this
Sure.
in this case, as professor said, there are some times where you will find more than one type of feature in a sentence, or yes, in a sentence or in a set of words. So it will depend. But right, in this case, when we are looking for assimilation, um, he found it first the elision. But in this case, for the assimilation, it would happen as he said in between up and after it is elided. So that, thank you, professor. Thank you. Let's move to the next one. So we have put your shoes on. Which type of assimilation? You wrote 50% of you thought it was progressive, 30% of you thought it was regressive, and 20% of you thought it was coalescent assimilation. In this case, I would say it is coalescent assimilation. And the 20% of you who said that, I want to know why you selected that answer. Can anyone tell me from the ones, or maybe if you think that it is progressive or regressive, and you think that and you could explain why, but I think it is coalescent. So for the people that selected that, would you mind telling me why you chose that, or where is the change? Nope. Any ideas? Okay, so in this case, and actually I used this example as well in classes. In this case, we would change and we would say put your shoes on, put your shoes on. So I don't know if I cannot use a pointer here. Yes, but here I don't know if you can see my no, wait, let me try to, no, I cannot show it. I here, right right there in that sound. So we would change that. Instead of the t sound, we would say put your shoes on. So that is where the coalescent assimilation happens, and it happens because both sounds, the first one and the following one, influence each other. So that is where the change happens. Let's see the next one. When do we use linking R? Now, I wrote this question because I know this is commonly mistaken, and I know it is really difficult sometimes to identify when to use each one. So the first option was words that are spelled with an R at the end, use the R sound to link the next word if that word begins with a vowel. And then the second option was an R sound is sometimes added between words, even if there is no R in the spelling, only if the second if the second word starts with a vowel. So in this specific case, the correct answer was A. So linking is what happens when words are linked together, but you have to have the R in the spelling. It's not what happens when you just put in for instance in letter B. What happens in that case is intrusive. It is intruding. Let's think of it as if it was not invited. And in the first case, it is linking because the R is already there. Now this can happen with other consonants, not specifically R, but we are using this as an example. So the R is already there, it is just helping us and linking the following sound because it starts with a vowel. Now, in this case, we reviewed the example War and Peace, and War and Peace already has the R, or we could say, no, yes, that's a good example, War and Peace. Now, remember that intrusive is when we don't have an R in the spelling, right? We don't have an R. Now, the next one. Provide an example of linking. Now, who wrote the first example? Is this clear or not? Who wrote the first example, or any of the examples that show there that could read it? Come on, don't be shy. I know you. If you wrote them, I'm sure you know why.
I wrote the third one.
Okay, Patricio, would you mind reading it with the linking?
Yes, you are Bruno, aren't you?
And where did you use the linking?
Between the first and the second word, I think there's the linking woo.
Yes, perfect. Thank you, Patricio. Thank you. Can you think of any other examples? So I previously gave you the War and Peace with the link in R. So great. Who did the second one? Or let me check because we have more answers here. The car is red. We have a lot of examples. So any volunteers to read the example? How are you? Okay, I always. Who wrote I always? Who wrote this example? Okay, in this example, I would say we have an a linking, no, intrusive, I would say, because we don't have I'm not sure. Can anyone tell me what happens here? I always. Who wrote this? No answers? Okay. I think yes.
The linking, I don't know how to pronounce the J, that linking.
Yeah, okay. Yes,
Yeah.
and yes, and right. And
But I didn't write that.
would it be linking? Could it be intrusive? What do we think? Linking?
Linking.
Intrusive? Okay. Okay, great. Thank you, Margaret, for answering my question. Okay, let's move into the next one. Yes. So provide an example of intrusive R. Okay, so we reviewed this example in classes, so I'm happy that you remembered that. Okay, here is the first one was law and order. Okay, we reviewed that one, law and order. So we add an intrusive R after law and before and in the word I saw a film, we would add an intrusive R after the W after saw and before A, or yeah, before A. So I saw a film. So great, 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 great. The next one. So perfect. You got it correct. Elision is the omission of sounds, syllables, or words in a speech. Sorry. Yes. So that is correct. That is true. Elision happens when we delete or omit sounds while speaking. So can you think of any examples of elision? I think it is they're really common examples. Any examples of elision? Could you tell me? No? Okay, what happens with the word in American English or in American pronunciation, we would say can't with the t sound at the end. What happens with that word in British English? Is it omitted or does it stay there?
It is elided.
Exactly. Thank you. Yes, that is correct. So it is elided. That is an example. We have several different examples, so that is perfect. The next question. So the last one actually. provide an example of juncture, and you wrote a name. Exactly. Yes. Yes. Perfect examples. Mr. Rodriguez, who is a great doctor, came last night. Okay. So let's remember that juncture happens. Let's use the a name and an aim. Happens when words sound together and they can be confused in some sort of way. So if I'm trying to say a name, it could sound in fast speech or rapid speech, it could sound as a name. So it can be confusing. That is what happens with juncture. So another example would be a nation. And if I said it in rapidly speech, it would be a nation. A nation sounds like the nationality or the race of a person, right? Or we have he lies, like he's lying, and we can turn it into heal eyes that heal. So we have different junctures. So your examples were really good. Now this was the end of the quiz, and we finished, I think, right on time. So I'm gonna stop sharing. Do you have any questions regarding the quiz or regarding other type of things? Any comments? Nope.
As always, this was a good class, and in practice it was very helpful. So thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. I'm really happy to hear that. Professor Bruno wrote in the chat box the example with the transcription, and it was intrusive. And intrusive R, yes. Yes, it was intrusive R, and he took the time to write elision as well in the example that I asked you about assimilation. So thank you, Professor. And you, I don't know if you're raising your hand from before, or is this a new comment that you have, Professor Bruno?
Sorry, I thought my hand was down because I.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries, that's fine. So, any questions before we finish the session? Or any question? Yeah, Javier.
Yes, Miss. I have a question, but not regarding the thing we are saying now. It is about the mark, about a mark specific.
Yes, Professor Bruno can answer that.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Sure. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Did you remember the proposal you made us?
Yes, I do remember. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, Professor. Can you hear me? Professor?
Okay. I was sort of unplugging and plugging the earphones. I'm sorry. So yes, I do remember the proposal. I think it all started just to contextualize maybe some of. Were all of you last time when we discussed this, when we talked about the thing of the grades, or anyone that was not here, just to give enough context?
I explained it
Okay.
on the chat we have on WhatsApp, by the way. But
Okay. All right. Thank you, Javiera. Thank you very much. So, yeah.
so my we discussed that in order to decide if the micro teaching was part of the assessment week or not, we have to compare, or we need to compare the mark with the audio we sent you the other time.
Yes. Yeah, I understand, and I think it's very. I thought it was very funny, but but anyway, because I mean, if I get a good grade on one, I'm going to prefer that as the first assessment week speaking test grade, but if I didn't get a good grade, but I understand that that's I mean, yeah, I totally understand that. So I updated the, so I guess this is not a decision that we're going to make now. Take a look at the folder in the LMS. In the folder, I don't remember specifically where the folder is, but in
In
the folder,
evaluation,
yeah, exactly. In evaluation, yeah, obviously, in
section three.
evaluation,
Section three.
section 3, right?
All right, you have just uploaded. Right.
Yeah, so take a look at the grades and you let me know your decision. Um, that was born out of a mistake that I made. That's what I wanted to provide some context because originally the micro teaching was a quiz, I think, and the recording was, or the other way around. No, that way was. But now we have the choice of defining which grade stays as the speaking test grade for the first assessment week. Okay. By the way, since we are here, um, so two things. No, three things. First, to say, Ms. Sophia, thank you very much. It was a very good class. I think it was very clear, very quite dynamic, lots of full of use of technology and feedback. So thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Ms. Sophia.
Thank you.
Great class participation. Yeah, great class participation, and I'm very glad that the students dare to speak up, to talk about what questions they have. So congratulations to those of you who could ask what you really wanted to know or to confirm. So take a look at the grades in the folder and let me know maybe with an email or next class basically what your decision is. This section has over 30 participants. I would say 30 something, 39 maybe students. And there are 9 because we are 11 counting Miss Sophia and myself. So 9 students taking the decision for 39. It's going to be a bit, I don't know. But let me know, okay? Let me know with an email. Or next
I'm
class.
going to make a poll.
Yes?
I'm going to make a poll and I will send you in the WhatsApp group. So in order to send us our decision and like a democracy.
Sounds good, Javiera. Sounds really good. And I do appreciate your proactivity. I appreciate you taking the time and leading this process.
Okay.
Alrighty. And the other, how can I say, piece of news, which is connected with what's going to happen later. Um, there's a topic that has to do with world Englishes, meaning not just talking about RP and GA, not just received pronunciation or a British pronunciation and GA or General American. Because if you don't know, or maybe you are aware of, there are actually now more speakers of English. There are non-native. So we are going to be discussing how English has become an international language, or what is called a lingua franca. And what does this have to do with you? That we're going to be talking about English dialects, or different types of English spoken in different countries, in which English is a first language, in which English is a second language, or an officially recognized language by a state, and countries in which English is a foreign language, such as the case of Chile and other countries. So for your for the second assessment week, there will be a change in terms of, it's not going to be a recording. It's not going to be a recording, but it's going to be a presentation. So my suggestion is that you take a look at English dialects. Okay, I know that it's not very traditional to work with Wikipedia, but I'm posting a link of Wikipedia that has to do with a list of dialects. So take a look at the list of dialects, English dialects, types of English spoken not only in Britain, but also in Africa, for instance, in Europe, right? Even in South America, and try to take a look at some dialects that you might be interested in talking about, because eventually for the second assessment week, you will have to give an oral report on English dialects in a sort of a comparative analysis. And for this, you can work individually or in pairs. Okay, so this I'm sort of telling you the news before. I'm going to be posting this information in the LMS. I think you get the message in the LMS even faster than the messages you get in the Teams section. So the idea is that once you have clear which dialects you are, first, if you're working individually or in pairs. Second, if you are working individually, you still need to pick two dialects. If you're working in pairs, one of you works with one dialect and the other one works with the other one. So in my case, I would prefer that you could work in pairs. So one of you takes one dialect, for example, one type of English spoken in Ghana, and the other one takes a dialect spoken in, for example, Liverpool. Each of you the dialect, and then you make comparisons between the two dialects. Okay, so once you have who you will be working with and the two dialects, you let me know, because I'm going to create a spreadsheet, just like when you register for the speaking tests, but first for the dialects that you're going to be covering in your oral report. Okay, so once you have this decision, just feel free to go click in the link that I'm going to be posting in the LMS, so you can get access to this spreadsheet, and you can type the dialects and the names of the students or student that you will be working with. Okay, so be on the lookout for the message that I'm going to be posting in the LMS along with the link, right? So you can go into that link and you can fill in the information. It's okay if um, another, if two couples, for example, work with English in Philippines, for example, but it's not okay if you have the same two dialects, like Philippines and English spoken in South Africa. If both pairs have the same two dialects, that's not okay. But it's okay if you repeat one dialect. Sense? Am I explaining myself? Yes, no? Did I lose you? Still
Yes, I
there?
got lost. I I lost the point. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
What do we have to
Uh,
do?
I will post the instructions in the LMS so that you are familiar. But in brief, the second assessment week, the speaking component will not be about recording yourself. but about giving an oral report. And I will provide all the details about the oral report in the message that I will post. Okay, so for the speaking test, you will not record yourselves, but you will give this oral report in pairs. Okay, that's it's sort of a summary for the information, and wait for the message in the LMS. I will give the message with instructions and a link. Follow for the link that I'm going to be posting in the LMS. All right?
All right.
Sorry. All right, so I'll be looking forward to your to the decision that you're going to make as a group, and that's all on my part. Thank you, Miss Sophia. Thank you, everyone, for
Yes.
staying. All right.
Thank you for participating. Thank you. I hope it was useful. And again, as always, if you have questions, you can write me or write Professor Bruno as you would like. And thank you. Yes, thank you for participating. Now, I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. So see you next week. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Goodbye.
Hey.
Bye bye.
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 Bye.